This is Curious Brain Thoughts.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Louise.
How are you? I am fine.
It's a sing-along episode, everybody.
Foldy roll.
Foldy roll?
Foldy roll.
Okay.
It's off of the olden days.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm older than you, so that's probably why I know these old...
I can tell.
Oh, old time. I'm just kicking him.
These olden day things.
Olden day things and stuff.
Good. So, what's going on for you? How are you? It's been ages.
I'm really well, thank you.
Amazing.
I'm doing all sorts of things that I haven't done before, which is uncomfortable and really great. And yes, it's challenging, but it brings all sorts of stuff up, which I love. So, yeah, all good.
That is good, yeah. I mean, ditto. There's a lot that is going on for me. Some of the stuff we're working on together, which is great. Some of it we're working separately and coming back together and sharing to try and... See, this is one of the cool things with the way we work, is that we're able to sort of amplify each other, because you're working on something and I'm working on something different, and then we come back together and we share, here's what I've learned, what I've done, whatever, and then that helps the other to accelerate, or it helps one to improve on something, or to grow, or whatever, which is really great. It's a very interesting way of doing things, and for us that's new, relatively new, in terms of how we're working in this multi-threaded way, which is quite cool.
Sharing is caring. What? I do that really over accentuated.
Sorry, what did you say?
Because I know that you always pick up on it.
It makes me laugh.
It does make
There
me
was
laugh.
there was another one that you used to do. I can't remember what it is now, thankfully.
I do pick up these
And you
tics.
stick with them
I
for
am
ages.
nightmarish for
So we
things like
went
that.
to Canada to see our beautiful family over there a while ago. I can't remember when it was.
2 years
2
ago.
years ago. Holy guacamole.
Right?
Whoa. That's mad. Mm-hmm. Desperate to get back to see them. Big shout out, just briefly, to the Canadians, as we love to call them.
Love the Canadians.
Love the Canadians off of Canada.
Totes amazeballs.
They are bloody lovely.
They are lush.
Gert Lush. Why was I saying that? I'm now really
'Cause we went to
distracted
the
with how
Canadians.
Gert Lush they are. Oh, yes. And then Lou just wanted to try and go a bit native. And then she couldn't stop saying A.
What are they?
And then for months after we got back, she was still going,
Because
A?
Canadians A, or they A it up.
Yeah.
It's just...
B is dead.
It's wall-to-wall A's.
Yeah.
They're A-ing the hell out of everything.
Yeah. A? Pretty good, eh? Sure, eh? Now, they might all be farmers, and they're actually talking about hay.
But they don't enunciate
No.
correctly.
It's ghastly.
So, or it's unclear.
Yeah. Frightfully unclear.
Or
Or
they just say A all the time.
there is that. So that's nice. And Lou is very good, as you've just heard, about enunciating her.
That's a thing I've picked up.
Mm.
I think you, though, reinforce it intentionally because you find it funny. So
It does tickle me.
I say it, then you echo it
Sorry?
back. No, so you're doing it wrong now, obviously,
Yeah.
on purpose. To egg me on to say more about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I tell you what, listeners, just feel my pain, right? I've got Paul and then our other brother Bernard. They're both younger than me, and they just
Not as hairy, though.
mercilessly rude. See, they mercilessly wind me up. They know where the buttons are, and they push them all, and then I'm like a spinning top. They wind me up and watch me go, and they're there laughing, and I'm there having an irate rant about something, and they're going, we got her again.
Yeah.
And I'm so easy to wind up like that.
Which is nice. And it's always done with love, though.
And you just take advantage of that for your entertainment. So
And
make of that what you will, everybody.
And to be fair, you do like to talk. So I'm actually just giving you a topic, a subject for you to talk about. I mean, you're welcome. Goodness me. I don't know. So I was stinking. And then I had a shower, and then I was absolutely fine. I was thinking about some stuff and things.
What kind?
Well, a couple of things popped into my head, and maybe one of them can be the subject of a future episode. And it kind of led to the one I want to talk about today.
Right.
The first one I was thinking about was grass.
What kind of grass?
I don't mean the herb. I mean, as in the green grass of home.
Right.
Or other grass.
Other grass is available in other places that aren't
with
your
different
home.
shades of green and stuff. And I was just thinking about the grass and how, like, my lawn has gone through periods of being very lush. You're welcome. And at the moment, it's struggling because there's big trees and they're slurping up all the moisture, etc. Which got me thinking about growth. And how we jointly and individually have been doing a lot, like a huge amount of growth. Obviously, the sort of work we do, we spend a significant amount of time thinking about this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And I've noticed how in the last sort of maybe 2 years, maybe less, it's gone up another level or 12. And how we're like really accelerating with this growth, and it is filled with all sorts of things. And one of the things that I notice is how uncomfortable it is, how uncertain I feel about lots of things, how, fraught with failure it is, and all these other things that are going on, as well as the obvious benefits of growth. And I think this is just something I'm curious about, because there's all types of growth, and like my grass is struggling to grow.
Yep.
It's struggling to flourish. Interesting. What's going on there? There's external factors, there might be some internal factors associated as well. And then tying that back to personal growth and how it's always this tightrope of emotions and wins and struggles and mindset and managing yourself and all these things, this huge cocktail of things that are going on. So I thought we might chat about that for a bit.
Nice.
Big
topic.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Well, growth.
Not the one
I have
on
a
your
growth.
nose.
No, that's different growth. So yeah, it's something we all want. We say that we want, but it's difficult to cope with the discomfort and the uncertainty of it. So to your point, it is a tightrope, and that whole thing around comfort zone, growth zone. There was a model which I saw which I really liked. From your comfort zone, in order to get to the growth, you've got to go through this uncertainty zone, or whatever they called it.
No, that's what we called it.
You have to. There we are. You have to. Boomtown, right? You have to go through that. So the old model was concentric circles.
Yes.
Comfort zone, learning zone, fear zone, or whatever. Yeah. But this I like much better because it described that uncertainty and the discomfort of that. That is the way and the only route to the growth. You can't get to it without that. So if you're uncomfortable, it's a good sign, because it means you're on the right track.
Yeah. So that was comfort, uncertainty, learning, growth.
Yeah.
Is how we have been characterising it. Which is, you know, it's like, okay guys, the moment you want to grow, welcome to uncertainty land. Because obviously it's not something you've done before.
No.
Whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And the definition.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We've got definitions for growth or growths.
Growth.
The
just
process
singular.
of increasing in size.
Yes.
Process of developing physically, mentally or spiritually.
Yep.
The process of increasing in amount, value or importance. And then the other vibe was something that has grown or is growing, like a medical thing. And we'll leave it there. So, yeah. Personal growth. I mean, it's also big business. Lots of people talk about it. Loads of people are on a bandwagon and blah-de-blah and talk about it.
I think there is also a huge number of well-informed, kind, well-intentioned people seeking to serve.
Yes.
With others, with what they know and or the benefit of their experience. And I think that we were saying this the other day. Some people, in the way they seek to serve others, is to say, this is what worked for me. I offer it to you in the hope that it works for you. Mm-hmm. Because I've got evidence that this is a way of doing things that has worked not only for me, but for lots of other people too. And I think then there's evidence, social proof, and it helps us have confidence that, okay, this might... The reality is we might need to take a bit of that and a bit of that and create our own recipe for what that growth looks like for us. But it's really super helpful to have these starting off points, some of these handrails to guide us through this uncertainty. So I think in the uncertainty, for me personally, I do look for and need greater support.
Yes.
Than I would if I stayed where I was comfortable, because I know all of the shizwads there. I'm cool in the gang in that space. But if I'm pushing myself out into the discomfort and the uncertainty, so wherever you get that support from, it doesn't have to cost any money.
No.
It could be talking it through with someone, and that's what you were saying about how we choose to work together earlier. That's hugely supportive of your growth, mine, and our growth together. So that's one thing that's hugely, hugely helpful. And we access support in lots of other different ways, some of which we pay for and some of which we don't. Fantastic. I think the point is that's when you need to amass your support resources around you, because you're going to need them. Yeah.
And there was something I saw the other day and commented on that Adam Grant, you know, the organisational psychologist.
Oh yeah, good old Adam.
Yeah, was posting about, or he was talking about the, you know, this relentless focus on strengths. And, you know, there are strength coaching models or strength development models and lean into your strengths and da-da-da-da. And he was making the point that that isn't actually where growth is. Because it's not only found there. There is some growth to be found there. There's a lot more growth to be found in other areas. And so if you think about venturing from your comfort zone out into uncertainty, there is zero wrong with leaning on your strengths. So that might be a source of support for yourself, like you were talking about a minute ago. Leaning on your strengths to help you navigate through the uncertainty. And in doing so, you're going to pick up more things, like soft areas that haven't been worked before will suddenly be starting to be worked and developed, like new muscles or whatever it is you're doing. And it's okay to lean on your strengths. So if you're really good at organising stuff and you're not so good at maybe communicating your ideas, well, awesome. You can support yourself by developing an approach, timely and organised and all the rest of it, to putting yourself out there to communicate the things that you're trying to do. You can set yourself up mini goals and whatever. So that's leaning into your strengths to support you to develop something where you're not necessarily strong at.
Yep. Yeah, and I just don't think there's one, in the same way that we all say this, there's no one way, there's no...
Apart from the right way, right?
Adam Thingy has got a perspective, and that's really great, and it's super interesting, and I don't disagree with him in the sense that in an underdeveloped area there's going to be more space, but I also think that we're infinitely capable of infinite things, and so there's space wherever you look in that regard, and going after things that we love, things that we're passionate about, all of that, it's all, I think everyone's basically saying the same thing, just coming at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And I try not to get too attached to one particular modality or way.
Yep.
To try and link things together, see the similarities, the patterns through lots of different techniques or tools or handrails or approaches or whatever it might be, because that helps me personally to craft my own way.
The way I look at it is there are these little islands that pop up. So I'm bobbing around in Uncertainty Sea or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, there's a little island over there. I'm going to just pop on here for a minute and have a breather.
Yep.
And, oh, that's great. That's been some support and whatever. Right, onwards. And then, oh, look, there's another one over there. Different type of island with different things. So I agree. It's so important to explore. And just noticing when you become really fixed on a particular modality or a particular thing, ask why. How is that serving you, and what else might serve you? And
are you so certain of that thing? Are you sure enough of it to be unsure?
To get off the island and back in the water again.
Exactly. So I'm really sure of that. Great. So I've drawn a map of that whole space. I'm really clear about it. Great. So now you've got the map. You can put that in your pocket and then keep exploring, because there is... And if that really works for you... fantastic, because all you might be doing is then adding to it and making it even more powerful. No one's saying you've got to draw the map, put it in your pocket and never look at it again.
Set fire to it. Right, off we go.
That's not how exploration works.
Really?
Just talk to any explorer.
Yeah.
I mean,
old Chris on his boat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what they did.
Yeah. Well,
they went into uncharted waters,
right?
Charted them,
yes,
and then set fire to them.
Yes.
Pretty sure that's how we got the globe and stuff like
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, it just is something that will require additional capacity from you, from all of us.
That's it.
If you're on your, and often, and we find this when people come towards us for coaching support, they're in already a level of discomfort.
Yes.
When that's what's given them the impetus to seek the support, because they are in this discomfort but feel stuck and unsure about how to move forward. So they come towards us. So, that's the discomfort is a signal. It's it's almost like we don't like it and we want it to go away.
Yeah, yeah.
So we seek some support to help it go away. But what the support, and I'm thinking, more in terms of the coaching, what the support actually does is it gives you somebody to walk with you for a time 100%. Through that uncharted territory, so that you can actually, you're not by yourself, you're not having to do it alone, and that is incredibly powerful. So, having seen people journey time and time and time again into the uncertainty, and if it's not my uncertainty, I'm then a witness to it.
Yeah.
If it's not my discomfort, I'm not they're feeling it, I'm not. I think that gives us a different, and again, another perspective on it. And for me, what I know for sure is that people always navigate their way through. they always find their path. It's not like there's one path or it's the path or the only way, but when people come to me for support, I have that inner knowing, that inner belief that they will find their way, because they always do.
I was working with a client the other day, and they were able to express it as they've stopped looking for the right path. What they're doing is they are being curious about whether or not it's a good path. Mm-hmm. Big difference, because this path for this period of time could be really good.
Yeah.
And then you get to a certain point where you go, I feel like this path is now less good. It's not as fertile as it was. It's not as nourishing, or whatever it happens to be. And then they look for another path. So it's this whole idea around exploration, because growth really can't happen without the willingness to move from the place where you're standing.
Yeah. We say this to people a lot, progress over perfection, because to your point, Paul, there is no right thing, there is no single way, and therefore if you are able to just allow yourself to take steps forward, knowing that you might need to take a sideways step or even a step back in some cases, just to do something, to take some action. It's evidence to you that you're on this journey, that you're able to step into the discomfort, however small. I often say to people, what is the smallest thing you could do? What's the tiniest step you could take? Don't take big ones. We don't want that. Small, really small, almost so small you can't see it. And it makes people then going, oh, I could take a really tiny step that I almost wouldn't feel. That I could do. Ah, okay. So, and it's just to get in motion, however you can. It's going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, growth, and other ways of pronouncing the same word. There's a lot to it. And we're only just sort of scratching the surface. And as growth enthusiasts ourselves, for ourselves and through the people that we work with in supporting their growth, there is so much to explore.
Yeah. What
a lovely thing.
Beautiful. Well, I'm off to mow the grass.
All right, you massive show off. I'd love to.
You haven't got any.
I'd love to go and hover over the bald spots on my lawn. Well, till next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Curious Brain Thoughts.